Welcome everyone, namaste. Thank you for joining this session in side body, one of my favorite things. We are going to start by coming into the shape of a child's pose with the big toes coming together, the knees a little wide. If this is something that is not good for you in this moment, if your knees are hurting or there's something going on there, you can always come onto your back. You're going to keep your feet on the mat and stay here on your back, and I'm going to tell you a few things to do here. Okay, so basically first you're going to breathe in here, and then you're going to extend your arms, and you're going to be holding one forearm with the opposite hand and lengthening that side and going sideways and back. I'll tell you in a moment. You'll follow us. And for the ones on your knees, you're coming towards a child's pose first. And first we settle ourselves. So we are going to bring the hands towards the top of the mat. We're going to press down and forward. I'm going to tone my low belly towards the back of my body. So it's almost like if I want to lift it up and send it back, you may feel doing that your lower back muscles start to stretch a little more. So that's what I'm going for. And then before I bring my head all the way down, I'm going to lift the chin for a moment, just to lift the chest there a tiny bit. Take a deep breath in through your nose. And with the exhale, now yes, we let the head drop towards the mat or the floor. If you need a pillow or a blanket or anything there to support your forehead, do so. We're going to work with 3 long inhalations and exhalations through the nose. So try and find the rhythm for you. Make that energy move through the central axis in your body, your spinal cord. Imagine you can really feel in that center from the bottom up and down. Good. So either on your back or in the child's pose, this is the moment that we're going to start adding little simple things to start opening the sides. So if you're on your back, like I said before, you're going to use your right hand to catch your left forearm. You're going to pull that arm, that left side a little higher, and then bring it over to the right. For the ones in the child's pose, we're going to start walking our hands over to the right. And when you get there, again, you're going to do the movement of lifting your belly button towards the back of your body, and that will give you more space to bring the trunk a little more over the right side. So maybe the belly touches your thigh, maybe it comes close. And I'm going to try and keep my hands shoulder distance apart and push the floor away, and again, drop the head there. Now we're going to take here one breath. And you're going to choose for the second breathing cycle. If you want to stay here, you stay here. If you can, you're going to try and bring the left hand a little closer to the right one. You cannot see it in the camera, but what I'm trying to do is to just place one palm on top of the other. If that doesn't happen, of course, they stay closer to one another, okay? So I lifted my belly button back. I reach over to the right, and then I'm stretching a little bit more of that left side over the right. And if you can, now when you're breathing, see if you can visualize and bring awareness into the whole left side of your body, starting in your left pinky finger, moving up through the border of your left arm, going into your armpit, and then from there down into the side ribs and all the way to your left hip. Then I'm going to lift the head and walk myself over to the center. If you need to recenter or reorganize, do so. If you are on your back, bring yourself again also back to center, and you're going to switch the arms, right? So now we're going to move to the left. I'm going to walk my hands over to the left side of my mat, any amount that you can. Once you get like maybe halfway of what you think you're going to go or something like that, low belly again, lifting, belly button moving towards the back of your body. And I'm making space there so I can bring my trunk a little more towards the left, okay? I'm going to switch because of space. So I'm doing that same thing. And my hands for now, they are shoulder distance apart. I'm dropping the head here, letting the neck drop as well. And I'm breathing through the nose. And then for the next one, if you are following my lead, we go a little further by bringing that right hand on top of the left hand or close by. Again, navel back, and I'm trying to reach over to the left, and I'm bringing awareness now to the right side of my body, pressing first into the right pinky finger, stretching all the way up towards the armpit, down into the side ribs. Breathe into that space, going down towards the hip, softening the skin in the face. Good, then I'm slowly lifting, coming back. And from here, I'm going to come a little higher, and I'm going to tuck my toes, and I'm going to try and sit back. This is going to be a little more intense, okay? So if you feel at any point, I'm gonna switch so you see my right side first. If at any point it feels like it's a little too intense, you untuck the toes and you keep them untucked. What I'm going to do here now is that I'm going to place my left hand turned in, so my finger pads are pointing the right side of my mat. Okay, so my arm is turned this way, right? What we call an internal rotation. Fingertips are pointing, I'm going to say, towards the middle line of the mat, okay? And keeping that with my right arm, what I'm going to do is inhale and stretch the right arm up. And with the exhale, I'm going to bring my right elbow to my wrist, okay? And then we go again. Inhaling, we stretch. Exhaling, the elbow to wrist. Again, inhale. Exhale. Two more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Good. I'm coming back, resetting both my palms. I don't know if you saw, but I'm trying to keep my sitting bones as heavy as I can. And now I'm switching sides. My right palm is turned in towards the left side of my mat, or the left border of the mat. And I'm going to start 5 times the other side. Remember, if you need to untuck your toes, you can untuck them, okay? Let's go. Inhaling, elbow to wrist. Inhale, exhale. Two more. Good, back to that tabletop. Untuck the toes, tap them a little, bring the knees a little closer to one another, so we are coming into the tabletop position. Now we are going to do a little bit of zigzagging, so we stretch again through the sides. I'm looking over my right shoulder, then looking over the left one. Let's do a few of those. And you can even move, of course, the hips. Naturally, they are moving side to side. We are adding a little bit of that stretch. Awesome. Then from here, I'm going to look at my hands. I'm going to dial my palms out and away from one another, just an inch or even less than that. It's just a little bit to give more space into the top of the chest and the shoulders. I'm going to press down through my hands. I'm going to move my knees a couple of inches back. And then I'm going to tuck my toes and start lifting my knees and my hips towards the known downward facing dog. So as I'm pushing with my hands, this may be your first down dog or your first shape like this. So give yourself a moment to pedal, to walk, or do the motion, right, of walking. Send the hips side to side. Push the chest towards your thighs. Maybe you need to come forward a little and play a little there to feel the motion of the legs, to open up the spine. And if you feel like you want to be or become more still, then you look at the hands, making sure that you're pressing down and forward, that you're toning your arms, and that you let the neck and the head drop as your feet are spreading through the base of your toes and lengthening your heels towards the back of your mat. It doesn't really matter if your heels are not touching down, that's all good anyways. Just try to lengthen the heels back. This is a really nice way to stretch the whole body, not only the sides. I'm bringing my low belly in and my front ribs in for another breath. And then I'm going to bring my knees down. Nice. Okay, from here, if you need to pad your knees, you put a blanket or a pillow. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to bring my right foot forward. You can tuck your back toes if you want, or keep them untucked. What I want to do with that back leg is to keep it toned, in the sense of bringing that outer shin towards the midline of the mat. So I don't know if you can see in the camera, but sometimes that back heel tends to drop out. So what I'm trying to do is to bring it more towards the midline, okay? Now, for this particular exercise that I'm going to do, I'm going to send my right foot a little further forward than my usual. So you see how instead of being right below my, or in the line of my knee, it's a little further forward, okay? So I'm going to do that. My right hand, you can choose. You can keep it on top of your right thigh or hold your hip, either or, you pick the one that you want. It can also stay like right just on the side of your body. The left one is going to go up and over, and I'm going to add emotion to this. So watch, I'm going to do this. Inhaling and exhaling, I'm coming back, okay? We're going to do 5 of those. Now, when I push my pelvis forward and we do the stretch, I'm going to try to keep my low belly connected to my back body and my tailbone moving down. Naturally, your pelvis will arch more, but try to balance that so it's not an extreme arch and it doesn't affect negatively your lower back too much, okay? So let's go for 5. And 1, 2, I'm bending my elbow, right, when I come back. 3, 4, and 5. Good, bring your right knee back and let's switch, left foot forward. Good, once you find it, push that foot a little further than the usual, and you know what's coming. You can keep the left hand onto your left thigh or to the side or to your hip, okay? So the movement will be that I'm going to stretch over my head towards the left and then a cactus arm, okay? For 5, let's go. Inhale, exhale. Tailbone down, belly lifting. Last one. Good. We bring that knee back, bring your hands down, and we go one more time back up into downward facing dog. Good. I'm going to show you 2 modifications for this. The first one goes knees down. You're going to roll over your right side, taking that right shin to the side and extending the left leg. Firing the glutes and bringing the tailbone in. You're going to reach up with your left arm. And then I'm going to say at some point that you're also going to reach with the left arm over the head, okay? For the ones who want to go a little more intense into this, instead of having the knee down, we're going to come into a plank. I'm going to lengthen through the crown of the head, toning my belly. Remember, you can bring the knees down, okay? I'm spinning my heels to the right, and I'm lifting through the hips, taking my tailbone down, and reaching up through the chest, left arm up. Now I want to draw a line that goes from my tailbone to the crown of my head. So I keep long spine there, push the mat away. And then we all bring that left arm over the head and we stretch. Imagine that you want to touch something with your left fingertips and your tailbone is moving towards your heels. Good, I'm coming back to plank. If you are on your knees, just return to the hands and knees position. Good. We're all going to go back to down dog. And you know what's coming, right? We're going to switch sides. If you want to bring the knees down, you bring them down. If you're going from the plank pose, you come to plank, push through the heels, lift the navel up, and spin the heels over to the left. We are turning, tailbone moves in, glutes are fired up. I'm toning my legs. I'm lifting the chest and sending my right arm up. Good, lengthen from tail to head as much as you can. Draw that belly in. And then we bring the right arm over the head. Keep the chest moving up, the belly turning up. Good. Right hand comes down. And from there, we return to that down dog. Then we lift the heels over the toes, bending the knees deeply. Low belly moves in, look forward. And then you can choose whether to step, hop, or walk to the top of the mat. We are going to release there the trunk. Take a couple of breaths. If you need something to put under your hands, bring it there like blocks or pillows. Good, and then we're going to bring hands into the hips, elbows pointing up, lengthen the spine, and we come all the way up. Good, shake it a little. Okay, and for the next one, we're going to use a block. So I have a block, it's flat. I'm going to put it on my mat and it's perpendicular to the length of the mat. Okay, good, layers. From here, I'm going to use that block to help me add a little bit of power to the side stretch that I'm going to do. So I'm going to put my right foot on top of the block and I'm going to send my left leg behind the block over to the right. And with the pinky side of my left foot, I'm pressing into my block and I'm pushing also down with my foot onto the floor, okay? So I have both feet pressing down. Of course, it feels funky because one hip is higher than the other because of the block, so don't worry about that. Try and hug the thigh muscles into one another and reach up through the spine. Okay, now I'm going to take my tailbone down and lift my belly up. Good. And from here, I'm going to bring my right hand to my hip and my left arm up. Super. Now reach up through the left side, tailbone down, belly in. And from there, I'm going to reach over to the right, any amount that you can. Press with your feet down so you don't feel so wobbly because it's going to feel kind of wobbly. Keep sending the tailbone down and reach forward with the chest. Good, breathe here. I'm going to add a little more. I'm going to bring my right arm to catch my left forearm or wrist and pull up and over a little more. Take a deep breath. Right side of your chest moves forward, tailbone down. Push with your feet down into your support and come back. Release the arms. Take that right leg out. And take a breath. Good job. Okay, we switch sides. Now my left foot is the one that is on top of the block, and I'm crossing the right leg behind and outside the block on my left. I'm putting the pinky toe side of my right foot to touch the block and even push it. And at the same time that I'm doing that, I want to really spread the base of my toes and press down into either my block and also the floor. Okay, good. I have those two. Now I'm hugging the legs into one another, mainly the thighs into the midline. Tailbone moves down and I'm lifting the low abdomen up. Okay, cool. Now from here, keep your left hand on your left hip and reach up through the spine. Keep the chin of the chest. We are sending the right arm up, 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 reach. So you really feel that stretch there. And then keeping the pelvis heavy, moving towards the legs and reaching up with the rib cage. So we are trying to separate both. I'm gonna go over to my left. Good. As I go to my left, I'm trying to keep the chest facing forward any amount that I can. You may not go far, don't worry, okay? Because we have the prop underneath and it makes it a little more challenging. But take the tailbone down and under, lift the belly up and reach a little more. You can always stay here if it feels like this is already enough, okay? I'm sending my left hand to catch the right wrist or forearm and pull a little higher and a little over to the left. Reach forward with the chest, take another breath. Press through the feet to come back towards the center, release. Take that left leg out and shake it a little. Beautiful. I'm going to remove the block, but I'm going to keep it just for helping. I'm going to come onto my knees just for a moment. And again, if you need the padding, you put it. And I'm going to open my right leg to the side. It looks like when I do what we call a warrior two or a lunge, my knee and my heel, they are in the same latitude. And I'm going to put the block right in front of the foot or close by in case I need it, okay? Good. From here, I want to make sure that that left thigh is perpendicular to the floor. So I'm going to look at the top of my thigh and push it forward a little because it tends to go back. So I'm going to push it. Glutes are again fired up. My tailbone is moving down and I'm going to send my arms to the sides. Good. Reach up through the crown of the head, bring the belly button back and then turn the palms to face up. Bring them up over the head, interlace fingers and reach up. Good. I'm pushing firmly with my right foot and I'm trying at the same time that I push into that right foot to make my knee move towards the pinky side of my foot. That's important so the knee doesn't collapse, okay? Then I'm going to keep the tailbone moving down, the low belly moving up, and I'm going to reach up and over towards my right leg. Good. Now see if you can bring the right side of your chest forward. Good. Optional here, right arm comes down in front of your leg. You use that as a leverage to turn the chest a little more and you reach up and over a little more. You can always catch the block, right? If you need it. Tailbone down, glutes actively pressing into the midline, and I'm turning the belly and the chest up. Good. Inhale, push through the feet, come back up. Exhale, release. Good. Bring the right knee in. Left foot, left leg goes out. Again, I'm checking knee to heel, more or less, same latitude. I'm firing my glutes and I'm bringing the top of my thigh a little further forward so it's more vertical. And that also helps me engage more through the glutes and the hips. Tailbone down, reach up through the spine. Let's send the arms out. Turn the palms to face up. Good, reach out, so we open up the chest, and then we send the arms overhead and we interlace fingers one more time. Great, let's go up, 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 up. Remember, if you need the block in front, you already brought it there perhaps. And as I'm taking the tailbone down, I'm imagining my rib cage moving up and away from the pelvis, and then I'm going over to the left. Any amount that you can. I don't know if you can see, but I'm not doing this, right? I'm not stretching the hip flexors, right? I'm keeping the pelvis in the center, and from there, I'm bringing the side body over to the left. When I get there, I'm trying to push the left side of my chest forward. I'm reaching, 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 reaching. Maybe you stay here, maybe you take the left arm in front of your left leg. Now remember, we want that left knee to go towards your pinky toe. Bring the glutes forward, but the knee back, okay? And then pushing the arm into the leg, turn the chest a little more and reach up and over a little more. Good, push into your knee, right knee and left foot so you can come back up. Exhale, release. Good. Bring the left knee in and sit back for a moment. Let's take a breath. Good. Okay. Now, I'm going to change this. We have a few minutes left. So I'm going to come to a seat and cross my legs. Just check which leg is in front. You can always put a pillow or a blanket underneath your sitting bones and help you support your lower back a little more, okay? From here, I'm going to bring my left hand next to me. I'm going to push down into the floor. I'm going to inhale, send my right arm up. And with the exhale, I'm bringing that side over to the left. I'm going to play a little bit here. So I'm going to inhale again, come over to the other side. Exhale, bring it over to the right. Again, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Two more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. We push, inhaling, we come back to center. Look at your legs, switch the shin that is in front, bring it behind, sit tall again. And now we are going to inhale both arms up. I'm going to exhale, bringing belly button back, reaching up and over, coming any amount that you can over your mat, right towards the top, and then release the head and wiggle the pelvis, not the pelvis, sorry, wiggle the torso side to side a couple of times and feel the stretch in the lower back muscles close to the pelvis. Good, one more, side to side. Then slowly walk yourself back towards the seat. Take a breath. Good, I'm going to change the position now of the seat by keeping my right shin in front of me parallel to the pelvis, and the left leg is going to go behind me. It looks a little bit like an S shape, so more or less something like this. You possibly will feel like one sitting bone is heavier than the other. That's normal. Now I'm going to frame my right knee with my hand. So I'm going to press into my base with my pelvis so I can lift the trunk. Then I'm going to rotate from the left to the right, my belly and my chest, any amount that you can, okay? And from there, keeping that rotation, my right hand is a helper, like a guide, right, or a post, so I can stay steady. And I'm going to stretch the left arm forward and down, and I'm going to drop the head there. Breathing here. Try to find that rhythm between the inhale and the exhale. And then push yourself back up. We return. Beautiful. Let's do the last side, bringing the left shin in front of the pelvis, right leg goes behind, sitting as tall as you can. If you need padding, add the blanket. If you feel like you're falling too much and it's very difficult to keep this seated position, you put a blanket onto the side that you feel more steady. So the side that it's more steady, if it's lifted, it's going to help you find more balance in both sides. Okay, I'm sitting tall again. This time I'm going to frame my left knee with my hands or fingertips pressing down so I can reach up and lift the spine. Then I'm rotating belly and chest over to the left as much as you can, any amount. My left hand is my helper. I'm going to put it down wherever it helps you stay connected. And then I'm stretching my right arm over that left side and releasing the torso, the neck, and the head. Good, and I'm slowly walking myself back up. Good. Bring that right leg in front. And I'm going to come onto the back for a moment here. Keep your feet pressing down. We're going to bring the arms parallel to the trunk. Instead of touching down, I'm going to hover. So my palms are facing down and I'm like parallel to the floor. From there, I'm going to try and lift my shoulder blades off the floor, and my chin, of course, is also coming towards the chest because I'm lifting the head, okay? This is a little more powery, but it's something that is really good for the sides of the body as well. So from here, what I'm going to do is to just reach with my right fingertips towards my heel or ankle, and then come back and go the other way. So I'm moving side to side for 1 and 2 and 3, belly in, and 4, 5, 6, almost there, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good, come down, take a breath, bring the soles of your feet together and let the knees drop to the sides, bring your hands to your belly, take a couple of breaths. Good, then we slowly bring the knees back together with your hands, Press the feet down onto your mat, extend your right arm overhead, roll over to the right side. And with your left hand, you start pressing and bringing yourself up towards a seat. This is officially the closure of our side body session today. Thank you guys so much for joining. I hope to see you again next time. Namaste. Have a wonderful weekend.